Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of Navigate. My name is Kunle Fasil. I'm the host. This is the first edition for episode for year 2026, and today with me it's somebody who is very, very, very important to me. Somebody special, and in fact, it's an honor to have him. I don't know how to introduce him, but at least I will say a bit. The person I have today is Dr. Adiremi or Ladele, who happens to be the national coordinator, the national pastor of Redeem RCCG France province, and also in a way, also because he has a lot of cap and a kind of title on him because he's a quiet person, very reserved. He's also a PhD holder, a doctor, and also a diplomat. Today, I have my brother, my pastor, with me. So, sir, you're welcome to this. It's an honor to have you.
Thank you so much. And you're also my pastor, you know, a dear brother. It's really a pleasure to be here. As I said before, it's an honor to be on this platform.
Thank you, sir. Because I want us to make it very much kind of lively. I don't want it to be too serious. Right. Even though the program is about navigate and how your leadership skills can, what you have been able to experience in the year past. As we are able to scale through those ordeals, and but people, audience out there can learn from yours. And a Nigerian in France who is a pastor, national pastor, recently, and also who is also a diplomat right now. I think you are the permanent delegate to
advisor
to the advisor to the permanent delegate of UNESCO. So automatically that kind of transition, I think it's is a lot. There's a lot of things in that journey, and those kind of experience is something that we need on this platform, and that is why you are here, sir. But before we dive into your career and stuff, I think we need to know your family background. I can say that at least from what I know about you, you study economics and political science from University of Ilorin. It happens to be one of the biggest universities in Nigeria, and now now from there you moved to Paris. So let us know maybe a bit of your journey from that.
Okay, thank you so much. Well, again, as you said, I was born and raised in the southwest of Nigeria. So my primary, secondary education was in the capital of Oyo State, Ibadan, and I studied at the University of Ilorin, economics and political science to be precise. And after my first degree, I had a stint of work experience with an association. We call it ISEC. Then from there, I went for a kind of traineeship program in Central Africa. And from there, after that traineeship program, I decided to do a master's degree. And, considering options and all of that. But as at that time, I was also very keen on having a second language because it was very clear that I was not going to do pure economics. I want to go into international development. And for success in that area, you need more than a language. So I had only English and then my native language, which was Yoruba. Yeah. So I decided to, to polish my French. So I came to Paris, while I applied for a university in the United Kingdom, University of Kent to be precise. So while here, it was an immersion program that I came for, a French language school that will teach you French in the day, and then they put you with a French family where you can practice it. In, when you're back at home and all of that. So while at that, I told you I stayed in Central Africa, Gabon to be precise. I made some friends because my traineeship was actually in a university. University of Omabongo, University in Gabon. So the friends I made there, some of them were already studying in Paris. They graduated doing masters and all of that. So while we were talking, they just told me that you have enough French and you can study in France.
Okay.
So So I just considered and I look at the options and all of that. And as at that time, the University of Kent that I applied to, I was going to pay around £14,000 as tuition. But in France, in a public-private university, which was even one of the most expensive at that time, was going to cost me €2,250.
Wow.
So naturally, that will made me happy. It made the parents happy as well. So in a way, it was orchestrated, my coming, and then the journey. And you see again, transition from economics to international studies, because I eventually did my master's in international relations.
Okay.
I had an encounter. It's like a revelation at some point. After my first degree in 1998 precisely, I happened to listen to a man called, he's now a professor, Professor Muhammad Yunus. Muhammad Yunus. He's from Bangladesh, a professor of economics. And he was telling his story at the State of the World Forum in 1998. So he told the story about how he started the Grameen Bank. Grameen Bank is the foremost organized microcredit bank. The bank, they call it the bank for the poor. So he told the story of his, it's a change of heart, how he started the research of how to lend to the poor without a collateral. Because to him, some of the economics principles that we have are impediment to helping the poor grow. Because normally, in economics, you must have a collateral. In the banking sector, they cannot lend you money without a collateral. And if I can dive into the story, perhaps it may help. Because Yunus eventually became a mentor to me from afar. In fact, I met him only once, and that was recently, last year, in UNESCO.
And you've known him 1998. Oh, my God.
Yeah, the story dates back to 1974, I believe. He had a fresh PhD from the USA and went back to Bangladesh. And that was during the famine, after the war. And then there was famine in Bangladesh. And then he said he would be in class teaching the big theories of economics. And then he comes out of campus. He sees people itching to their death. And then he said, but what could be wrong? So he started to puzzle. And then one encounter one day that he saw some women making baskets and products from canes and all of that. I cannot remember vividly the products, but this is the scenario. And they're working hard, making nice products and wares and all of that. But they seem to not be surviving. They're still poor. So he approached some of them and they told him that, look, there's a guy that lends us money. And it's the same guy that buys our product. So he lent the money and then determine the price
of
the product, how much he will buy the products from us. So at the end of the day, we do not have much left because it detects everything. We pay interest on the credit, and we set to him at the price that he dictates. So that tells you why they're not making any margins.
Any margin at all.
So they remain poor, rural poor people. So he began to see, and then he went to the bank, approached the bank, and the bank said, no, we cannot lend poor people money because they won't pay back. They don't have collateral. So he took a personal loan, about $20-something at that time. Helped some women. At the end of the day, 2 years, they all paid back. They're looking better. And you see, he said something very important, that when a woman is the breadwinner in the house, the whole family benefits. It's the opposite of one of man. And so gradually,
maybe in their system, kind of.
Yes. He enlarged the scope and then established the bank. It's a big one now. Many microcredit schemes now took after that. Now, I think he won the Nobel Prize for in 2006, the same man. So that was an eye-opener. So I began to see the economic theory that we study. There's when you look at the ecosystem of growth, you have demand, supply and price in between. And at the end of the day, it's actually count. It's something that just says, okay, how to economic work? How do people make money and all of that? And at the end of the day, you do all these big theories, but there is no
Doesn't
accountability
translate to
to development.
development. Yeah.
There's a growth, but there is no development. And part of it is this: when you have laws in place and that there are no exception to that rule. And this is what transpired to, even in finance and all of that. Bank will always ask for collateral. You don't have a collateral, you are not eligible for credit.
credit, yeah.
But who will help the poor? So here I begin to think about my career, what I want to do. And you see, again, I think naturally also I've been taught that whatever you want to do is something that you should wake up every morning happy to go to that
Go
work.
to work, yeah.
So I began to have a more orientation. At that point, I knew that I won't focus on economics because in school, what we do is the Y, the X, the additional maths and all of that. And then we have a simple equation,
Yeah, the
simple situation.
microeconomics, the
Exactly,
macroeconomics,
and the
stuff like that.
econometrics and all of that.
Econometrics, yeah.
You have a simple thing that you can explain with logic, but you go ahead and do a lot of, mathematical equation, drawing graphs and all of that.
And at the end of the day, it's not
What is the
actually
import
influence, yeah.
on the? That's why we have growth everywhere, and there's no development, especially in Africa. So it gave me a rethink. So I said, okay, what I want to focus on is international development, and that's a change of, it changed my orientation, it changed my this. Well, it's not a 360 turn per se, because you see, economics, political science is embedded in international development.
yeah.
So for me, it was an easy transition,
Okay.
but it's something that took me off totally from pure economics. Yeah.
That's really a long journey. I think what you said so far is very, very, very profound, because when you look at your journey, it's something happened in between.
Yes.
And in between, if we look at it, it's like a kind of a sympathy of what you see humanity to be like.
Yeah.
That when you look at people who wants to do something and they don't have that capacity to do it because there are some kind of
laws and principles that are in place, man-made,
man-made, that actually hinder them to do something, and that actually draw your attention, and you were able to say you want to do something, and that's a very good thing, because I think our audience that are hearing us, watching us, can also learn from that. That whatever happens around you should be a kind of a guide to what, at least maybe your desires of what you want to become in future and what you want to do. I think our life is should involve around what you're able to give.
Yes.
To people, as in as kind of a value you want to add to the life of other people. So I think that's a very good decision. And because right now, if I want to ask you another question, at least follow up to that, you have given us your background, what brought you to France. So for me, I think it's not by accident.
Yes.
It's like an orchestrated thing in terms of what happened, the price of the school in UK, Kent to be precise. Now here, the tuition is also very, very attractive for you to do. So at least God actually made it that way.
Exactly.
Your journey to Gabon also helped you to at least to shaping your idea and your decision of coming to France. So you're coming to France is not, but some people wants to leave Nigeria, they are not actually prepared for it. So I think your journey is an example for them to look at that. If you want to do something, look at somebody who has been before you, just as you look at you're watching Dr. Yunus, and also you're kind of a mentor afar, and somebody you've known since 1998 and you just met last year, so you can see the journey. So it's not by accident. So that's cool. So in your journey now, your career presently, that what you do so far, what are the kind of challenges that you usually face, that actually, maybe because I know in our discussion before now, you're like, if you want to have it to rethink, you have to think about to be like an entrepreneur or something. So I'm like, okay, this is your desire, but right now it's like you're having a kind of another perception on your desire, or maybe your journey again.
Yeah, well, again, I 100% like what I do now. And the reason is that we shape policies in countries. And where I work, I focus more on Nigeria. because I work with the permanent delegation of Nigeria to UNESCO.
UNESCO, okay.
I'm the advisor to the delegation. And for me, it's a leverage because you're part of a system where things that are happening in a country or countries, you have a part to play, you have your quota to contribute, and the work of UNESCO cut across many sectors: education, science, culture, communication, and information. That is some of the programs that you see in countries today when it has to do with education. If you look at something like universal basic education, for example,
You bet, okay.
that is something that stipulates that at least basic education must, as much as possible,
Accessible.
be accessible. All those policies emanated from UNESCO. That is, member states gather together and then they
Come up with
experts
that, yeah.
and then come up with that. How do we help ourselves? And sometimes it should be universal because that is how we build global citizens. So I'm happy that I'm part of that ecosystem
Okay.
because I play my part in that. Not only am I helping Nigeria, but when we go for intergovernmental committee meetings, we bring experts from all over. Then we'll sit down, what are the best practices? How have we evolved? What have we done? And how can we improve? These are things we do. And then everyone goes back and you apply whatever it is. So it's really a joy to do that. And every day when you wake up, that's what you say, okay, well, I've made this good decision to be part of this.
Yeah.
Yes. And, for me, for the challenges, as you grow, it's now a question of, combination, different curves, as you said, how to navigate through these different curves, and then time is not enough and all of that. I was also telling you about the fact that I had this inspiration to write a book on leadership since during the COVID. At that time, I bought so many books. John Maxwell, Miles Monroe, he wrote a lot about leadership. And I thought of writing a book, adding my thoughts to, because that is what research is all about.
That even get back to your new platform, the leadership platform that you have.
Because I put all these things, I was writing things down and all of that, pure manuscript. No, it's not refined and all of that. And then 2021, I had a promotion, which now takes more of my time. So sitting down to write became a problem. But it was there. In fact, at some point, I was asking myself, would this project ever be done? I was not sure. But last December, I just sat down and I thought of it. Okay, then my mind went back to all the research that I've published and all of that. And I think I was joking with someone I cannot see, that sometimes when you put a research paper or a link to that on sites like Facebook and all of that, you see only maybe your family members liking it. But you put a photo or a video where you're talking, you see a lot of people. So I said, okay, where do people go, especially the youth? How can they hear this message? Because it's actually a message on how to build your leadership skills, and all of that. And I said, okay, well, why not do a podcast where I just speak about it, summarize the points I have, and then put it out there for people to listen. And, and it's a kind of training as well. So I have this. And then, when you're camera shy.
Yeah, you said so. Yeah.
Exactly. So I had to train myself to go back. This message must be out. Since I cannot sit down, it may still turn to a book later on. But something, an inspiration, something within me saying it is time to do that.
A journey of 1,000 years has to step by step.
Exactly.
Step by step,
So I just put it out there, however unrefined the videos are, it's still good. The message is the message.
Valid,
So.
Because I look at one of your video, one of the YouTube video that you did. It was around about 30,000 people that watched that video.
Yes.
So it's like, for me, you started this is not even up to, and it's not that maybe you
It's 1
promoted that
month.
kind of video. You just did it. Maybe it was live, I guess.
No, it's
And
not live.
it's not
just,
live. It
yeah.
was just a video that you posted on,
Yeah.
on YouTube, man. And you have almost 30 something thousand. So it's not just an ordinary message. I think it's a message that resonates with people, the
Yes,
audience.
yes.
So and that's one of the reasons. Is even before now, even before the podcast,
Yeah.
before your program, I've had you in my mind too. In fact, your name was the first name on my invitees. So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I believe that it's not by accident what
Yeah.
you have been able to do, and whatever that you do now, actually, it's impacting the
And
life of
talking about challenges, I was just saying that combining all this
things
could be
together.
a challenge. And also another challenge is how to move with time,
with time.
because you need to upgrade. You need to every time, because younger people are coming.
coming,
And
yeah.
that's an example of upgrading. Yeah, look, I'm a researcher. I have this habit of everything that I want to put out, it must be on the pages of a
paper,
book
yeah.
or of a research paper and all of that, and you publish
But
and all
the
of that.
what involved anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So one need to really, really gear up.
Yeah.
However old you are, you should still. So those are challenges. But you see again,
But so you didn't have, doctor. You didn't have that the challenges because when some people hear that you're a pastor, but you're not a full-time pastor.
Yes.
And you're not paid for to be a pastor.
No.
So
Yeah.
people must understand that.
Yes.
So and there's a responsibility for you not to do for
Exactly.
you not to take care of a whole nation of France. So it's really, I know it's a lot of burden.
Yes.
So it will definitely influence your and affect your programs too. So I think that's part of the challenges, but you are able to navigate.
Exactly. It's just, look, again, for me as a shepherd, there's one thing that resonates with me. What God wants is that you feed the sheep. Right? And feeding the sheep, what's the food? Is the word. So getting it out there. If you see, I also started late last year, like a kind of audio podcast that every Monday I put the message out there. And you see, for you to be a leader, it's about the empathy for the people, to make sure that you carry them and then you inspire them. And, what is uppermost in your heart is actually the vision. You want to carry people from point A to point B. You must be able to communicate that and motivate them to do it. And this is it. And then if you know the terms of reference of what you're doing, so both in my faith, the practice of my faith in church, my circular job,
the career,
the Nigerian delegation to UNESCO, and then some personal endeavors. I also teach. So all these things.
So these are, that's why I said when I started the introduction that you are a man with the different caps and an authority. If how were you able to? Because I know. There are some things that you need to process because all this thing is not easy to combine.
Yes.
For you to combine together to be able to do.
Yeah.
Now, for the people who are, some of our audience who wants to, because I'm sure, I remember there was when you were posted from the parish where we were before, some people were crying. Yeah. So definitely you have actually impacted life into those people. Yeah. And people are looking and are watching us today. How were you able to be able to achieve, as in to navigate through, to be able to do all those things yourself?
I think what the most important for me,
the kind of value, all the things that you need to possess for you to be able to do that.
I think the most important for me is to understand vividly what is required for every role in church, in the practice of my faith. Because again, pastor or no pastor, I do not see any difference there. This is what I tell people. Your brotherhood determines your pastorhood. Whatever you're doing as a brother, as a member of a church, if you're promoted to be a pastor, it will only amplify that. And I believe in one thing: ministry is one life affecting another positively. So that's always a focus. So whether we are 3, 4, 200 members, my life first. I internalize, self-awareness. It's one of the things, I think in my podcast of 2 weeks ago, it's leadership begins with self-awareness, self-mastery. The fact that you have to be aware of your weaknesses,
your
strength, and then how do people perceive you? When you can do that, you will pass your message accurately. And then your private life must not be different from your public life. We're not all perfect, but we're striving to be that, but as much as possible. So this impact is you're living life, and then it's not that you're inciting people to copy you, but what you put out there, people are seeing it. And by the time they are lying, because you say one thing and then they see you doing another thing, it's already not impacting. And then your message pass easily, you know. And so again, the aspect of saying you're sympathetic to the plight of people and you indeed love people genuinely, that is another thing. The love of people will make you to listen to them. Do you know that most of the problem that people have is that someone has not listened to them vividly?
Yeah. So if I, sorry to interject you, sir, for what you've said so far, because if we look at what the Bible told us in the account of Jesus Christ, that if most of the miracle that he performed, the Bible recorded that it was, he had compassion over the people, and so empathy is part of it. And also when you look at the other point I think you are doing there is that for you to, when you say if you can't be doing this and doing the other things, that integrity also is one of the key areas that one has to at least possess, be a man of integrity, so that people can actually see you, not that you live this life and you are living another. So you portray this thing to some people, but this is who you really are.
That is your message.
Your message
should actually match your lifestyle.
So you practice what you preach.
Exactly. This is just it. It's sacrifice. And then to do all these things, even in the secular, I can tell you it is sacrifice. Because some of these things, you see, how you know a good person in a workplace. We speak of hard work, integrity, grit, that is perseverance and all of that. You can find them in the book of, in the fruit of the Spirit. And when you can do that, then let me go back. You said, how do I navigate? Because you see, again, you cannot separate your faith practice with your work. It's indeed helps one another.
Like interwoven.
It's interwoven. Because at work, many people don't know that I'm a pastor. Because at work, and I take care to repeat it to people when I'm in the church environment and all of that. You see me, I'm passionate about God and all of that. But tomorrow when you see me at work, people who see me, they will not know whether I'm praying or not, because my work is my work. I'm still diligent. I don't count my hours as such, as much as I can. I get things done. I make sure that I work very hard with diligence and then competence. If I need to upgrade myself, I go back to school and do a diploma. So, you see, all these are principles. See thou a man diligent in his work. He will stand before kings and not before mean men. All these are principles. Miracles may not promote you. It's an exception. It will help you. Because even Paul said, I plant, Apollo waters. God give increase. This is, but you have to plant first. Paul has to plant, Apollo needed to water it, before there is increase. The responsibility. So the aspect of responsibility is not taken away. So I work very hard as if I don't pray. And I pray as if I don't work. So you see, all this works together. And when it is like that, you make sure, you are sure that you're consistent in what you're doing. And it's the same, because it is interwoven, it is easy to navigate. And what I teach in the university is the same thing I practice. So they reinforce one another. When I go to the university to teach, I bring industry experience. And my research in the university, when I teach, it increases my knowledge. I take it back to my work. So it helped me more. So at the end of the day, you're just around. The thing is, you can do so many things, but make sure that they are around the same niche. Around the same niche. So the anchor now, the cap, will be the practice of your faith. Because I don't call it religion. In fact, if you ask me the option whether I love to be called pastor so and so, no, I love to be called brother so and so. Because
Jesus.
title or no title, it is still the practice of our faith. I wrote it somewhere at some point that I do not have a religion, but I practice Christianity because I know that religion is like politics. It is volatile. It could be dirty and unavoidable. Yeah. So
I think why I'm doing this is that in our quiet time we seek the face of God, we meditate upon the Word of God, and some of the things that you said now, the word that you said now, like the Lord actually spoke to me about it, and that's why I'm just making that kind of sign. And that is the confirmation of what the direction of God, and it's not something. It's something that is in the pipeline.
Oh, wow.
So it's a very good thing. That conversation today is not by accident. So, if I'm going to ask you another question, I think I will look at because if you want to advise people who wants to actually follow your journey, as in not actually exactly what you do, but taking their decisions. I think people like you should be somebody like an advisor to people out there, and how for them to be able to navigate through, for them to take that decision. Because I remember I said, whatever the Lord lays in your heart to do, just
do it well.
Do it well.
Yeah.
Just do it. You might not do it maybe perfectly from initial stage, but at least do it as soon as possible.
Yeah.
I remember my story because I was telling some people that there's some vision God has shown me, and because may we not be replaced. God is showing you something, you're not doing it because God is showing you for a reason, because you are dared to influence life. I think we are not living in isolation. We are meant to be a value added to other people. So if God is showing you something, so for you now, I know God has placed you where you are for some people. Because you are not living your life for yourself alone, not only for your immediate family. So some of our viewers who are watching us, if you are to advise them in terms of how would you advise them in terms of taking their, discovering themselves, know where their creative space are. You see, in Nigeria, because it's not everybody that will travel out of country.
Definitely.
Some will travel and will still go back to Nigeria to succeed. So,
well, I think whether in Nigeria, in Africa, or abroad, it is the size of your vision that determines where you will be. Not only the size of your vision, the kind of work, diligence, and prayer that you can put behind it. Because if you have an idea, you have a vision, and you are not working towards it, it remains a dream, actually. And I remember it's also good to listen to your heart, because most of the time, I'll say this anecdote. Someone said that a woman went to her pastor and said, "Please, how do I hear God?" And then the pastor asked her this is how she put it. "I don't think God speaks to me because I've never heard God." And then the pastor asked her, "Did Satan speak to you sometimes?" And she said, "Yes." "So how did Satan speak to you?" "In my thoughts and all of that." I said, "Yes. If you open that channel up, it's the same channel that God will use to talk to you. So most of the time, it's in the thought process, in the things we see, in the pages of the Word of God that we read. That's how God speaks to us. Because I remember when I was doing my youth service in Nigeria is what national youth service is what you do immediately after your first degree.
Yeah.
One day I was in a canteen with a friend who were eating lunch, and I saw a poster in the wall of the canteen. "Learn French, you need it." And then they put the address of the Alliance Française. I served in the north of Nigeria in a city called Kano.
Okay.
So they put Alliance Française. I can remember vividly, just to tell you that I still remember it clearly. Something Magaji Rumfai Road. And I noted the address down, and immediately after that lunch, I traced where Alliance Française was. and I registered to study French. So I did 2 months there until I couldn't afford to pay because, Alliance Française is from France.
From France, yeah.
So it's usually a huge amount. And we have the corpus allowance, which was limited. So I did it for 2 months, and that gave me a very good background in French. Now, our teacher then, a Cameroonian, my teacher, gave us some record,
tapes
and those cassettes that they used to. And that's after I left the school because I couldn't pay again. That's what I kept practicing on. I kept practicing on. And then it helped me. Now, when it was time to go for a traineeship and they're sending me to Gabon, that gave me a good leverage. That at least I have some notion of French. And I perfected it a little there, and then I came here. So sometimes God speaks to you through what you see, through your thought process. If you see it coming to your heart all the time, and they're good ideas, you check it with your faith, with the Word of God, and you think they're just, then God is telling you something. Now, that is in the aspect of vision. Then you put hard work behind it. You cannot sit down. You have to take action. You have to work. And you have to look for where informations are. That is where you think you are going. You must actually look and dig up. So now, how do you get there?
That's how I get there.
That's another thing. And then while you're doing that, hard work. Because you see, in career and all of that, I see people today, you come out of school and all you're looking for is what do we call it now? Diploma assignments. No, you have to start from where you are. Now, my going to Gabon was a volunteering job. So I did 18 months in Gabon without the promise of a salary. I volunteered because I know this is where I want to be. International development. I saw some of my friends who were going for management traineeship and all of that. I went for a development traineeship because I already caught the idea. I want to work in international development. And it's a field that is very saturated. Because if you're an engineer, you can easily convert to international
volunteering.
development.
I think that even remind me, sorry to interject you, because that even remind me, one of our first guests on this platform did the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So in terms of getting yourself in a space, in an ecosystem that the Lord is laying your heart to, you must first of all, it's like a matter of a sacrifice.
In fact, the first 4 years of my career
it was like a sacrifice. Volunteering.
That is, even while in Gabon, my parents sent me money from Nigeria. So it's not
all about the money that you get.
No.
It's about,
especially if you are going to a space, a space where that is very saturated. And everyone can easily convert to international development because whatever you're doing, it's international development. It's not a very, very narrow niche and all of that. And then if you want to work somewhere, they ask you for experience and all of that. So how do you get the experience? And this is what I tell people, young people who are, interning with us. Yeah, it's good what you're doing. But look, if you really want to work in this field, just be prepared. And then when you get that, it's easier for you. Yeah, so hard work. And then I was talking about push assignments. Anything that and it's also in line with what Ecclesiastes said, whatever your hands find to do it well. I think it was Barack Obama that was saying it, that the best way to get promoted and noticed at work is that whatever assignment you are given, no matter how low or small you think it is, just do it. Nail it. In fact, that's how you put it.
Nail it.
Nail it. You cannot be doing that and people will not notice that you are motivated, you're hardworking, you're diligent. And those are things that will help you to grow. Yeah.
I'm thinking of something, sir.
Yeah.
Because the generation of nowadays, when you talk about, in that your era, volunteering is still something very, very useful now.
Yeah.
But I know some people who wants to actually go, move from one phase to another in their career. Don't see it that way, that you don't necessarily need to work or do something to be paid for, but you need to do something to to just like if you have a mentor, you need to like look at the mentor and see how you can work even for free.
Yes.
Because I remember our first guest here said something like that. I decided to work for free just for him to move very close to somebody who is looking up to. So it's not all about the money, but it's all about the experience.
Exactly. Because before you develop that value added that make people want to pay you well, you need a proof that you're having results already. And that proof, you can only get it through experience. And to get that experience, it is not given. Yes, everybody's story cannot be the same. There are people who graduate and they have a job. But different is, but it will be sad if you're waiting to get a job that is paid before you accumulate experience. I think people understand these days. That's why you see internship is so proliferated now. But again, it's if you have to go that journey, instead of sitting down, please volunteer to do something. It's very important.
Thank you, Pastor and Doctor, for because you said you would like to be called even brother. I remember at least we have somebody who is very as in some of our pastors in Nigeria. We don't call him pastor, we call him brother Akon. Billy Akon, and then he's a father, so and he called himself brother, and many people call him brother. So it's not a new thing. That
yes, definitely.
So for your experience, I think we learned a lot, but I still want to ask one or two questions before we end this session. If you now that you are in France, let me just put it that way. You are in France, and you look at what is happening in terms of the changes, because now because you walk between countries and all that, and things are happening around, and now a lot of things is changing. It's not like the traditional way of getting things done in those days, but right now things are changing. As a leader, how were you able to at least adjust into this system right now?
Okay.
I know that now you are familiar with this podcast of a thing. These are the things that doesn't happen. It doesn't usually happen before, but right now it's everywhere. And but how were you able to adjust, as in kind of adjust yourself into the system so that you involve yourself into it, so that you are able to actually affect and influence your work?
I think it's all about continuous self-development. Because as you said it already, and it has come out while we were discussing, that the world is not waiting for you. You have to always run to catch the tide. I have made it a point to upgrade myself. Because now, with my age and my experience, you have younger people that are coming behind. These ones, and I say it, in those days, when you need an information, you must go to the library. Very complicated. You know, the catalog, the way you read and navigate and all of that. Even here in France, Bibliothèque François Mitterrand. Which one is this? This one in Châtelet, not far from
Rabattu, right?
Yes. Yeah. You know, you have to go to the library. I spent hours and hours in the library. When I was doing my PhD, I didn't go on holiday for like 3 years. Because all my holiday period, I spent it in the library because I was writing my thesis. But after the PhD, in fact, towards the end of the PhD, then we discovered Google. And you realize there's so much materials, and then it was, now a lot of the internet is full of information now. So you can actually sit at your desk and do a research and finish it without having to go to a library. That is something. So I discovered Google early, not to copy and paste, but to read and enrich myself so that I can write. But today, we're in the age of artificial intelligence and all of that. If you don't know how to, deploy that, you might already be behind. And, sometimes you look at the trend of things and you say, oh, I need this qualification to be able to forge ahead. There are so many online courses that you don't need to go to a class to do all of that.
Yeah.
And you train yourself. And this is what I do. Lately, I realized that for within the UN, if you're looking to management and all of that, they now ask for data analytics and all of that. At least you must have some experience or having been trained in it. Because you see, there is data analysis for leadership and all of that. And I realized, okay, well, there is nothing else I can do. If it is required, if I need it for my work, I have to go learn it. Now I have 2 certificates in data analytics. You see, but this is how you upgrade yourself, and you're making sure that you're moving with the tide. Yeah, these are knowledge that are needed. You need it for now. If you don't have it, you hardly progress. Because again, it is a reality. You need data to be able to, make good decisions. And right now I'm doing one that is the data for decision making. You see, that this is what I am doing right now online. So that's how I move. That's how I feel that everyone who wants to progress should be.
It's like
upgrading knowledge, upgrading skills, and looking around. What are the tools now that are being used for faster, efficient, and delivery?
At least to be compliance for whatever you
exactly.
do. Yeah. So that's very good. I think a lot of things is online for people to learn. Somebody was talking about school. He said the internet is a school.
Yeah.
That whatever you want to become in life, you can get that via the internet. That people need to understand that now.
Yeah, exactly.
It has gone beyond the traditional 4 walks of university that people are used to.
Yeah.
If you are not going there, does not mean you are not. You can learn.
Yeah.
Even some people who just did certifications, they are better than those who are.
Exactly.
Because I remember when we were in the US university, for us to see when you say you are doing computer, we don't see computer until just because we are sharing.
Yes.
We are sharing even we rotate it before we go to the lab and all that.
Yes.
But the world has gone beyond that. You can learn even from your phone.
Yes.
If you have the internet and all that. So that's a very good one. On that note, I think we can end it that way. I think we've learned, but at the same time, I would like to, before we put it at a final stop, I wanted us to have a break before then we do, but at this now, I think we have gone beyond the time. In terms of your family, because I want us to talk about faith too, because I think it's very, very important. And your story helped us, my family too. I remember when I got married in Nigeria, I came back to France. My wife joined me about 9 months afterwards. We had a miscarriage and a stillbirth in Nigeria, and then we were waiting upon the Lord for something, for a child. Let me not use that word. For a child. So we waited for about few years. I think about 2 or 3 years. My wife was like out there. So, and then I've known you, and I think from that understanding we realized that you've been there for some time. It was one night vigil that we were at, that the word of wisdom came. That same day was the day that the Lord revealed, and I was able to connect to that. So if you look at your journey in that area, for you to wait that long, if I'm not mistaken, maybe about 9 or 10 years. 9 years, yes. Yeah. So, and how, because I know even our own small journey.
Yes.
I'm sorry to go there.
No.
I'm sorry, because we're just discussing. It's part of something.
Faith.
It's part of something that people need to
helps.
learn.
It helps to leverage.
So if you look at that, even in my small waiting period, I know what I went through.
Yes.
How are you able to do 9 years without?
Well, it's also borders on how God speaks to you, and whether you believe in those words or not. I think I've told this testimony before. When we first got married, yes, we were praying. Every newly married couple will pray for fruitfulness and all of that. So one day I was sleeping, and I know that there's a bit of challenge, health challenge for my wife. So one day I was sleeping, so I went into a dream, and it looked so real. That dream was real. It's as if I'm experiencing it live. So I saw a man, the the description is like it was Jesus Christ. You know, the way we know him in those films, in white and all of that, with the robe and all of that, with the long hair and all that. And it's like in a theater, a medical theater, where they perform operation. And then the man beckoned to me to come. And I saw someone lying on the surgery bed.
Yeah.
And then I saw it was my wife. So it was like Jesus performing a surgery, open the stomach. And then he beckoned to me to come look. So I looked, I saw heads of babies. And then he closed it up and said to me, there are many children in the womb of your wife. That's how I woke up. You know, that day, it was about maybe a year, no, less than a year after marriage, a few months after marriage. That day I was so happy. I said, oh, wow. I thought that conception will happen immediately. But you know, for those 9 years, that kept ringing in my head.
This is what you showed me.
Yes, that there are many children. Now, when we were still at zero child, I was seeing many children. So it gave me a lot of, you know...
kind of sukkah, kind of.
Exactly. So when you pray, and then, you know, sometimes my wife will cry, and I will say, God has said, there are many children in your womb. She'll say, no, this thing, you're not even taking it seriously. So when will it be, you know? For women, it's always about when. Say, no, it will happen because God has said so. And, you know, it gave me courage. You know, you are able to focus on work. You're able to, and then while you do the needful, praying, watching, you know. So this is like a walk of faith for me. Because Christianity is not religion. It's about faith. How much do you believe in what you're serving? The God that you serve. How much do you believe in what you hear? And do you even believe it? Because I can wake up that day and say, no, but it is just an ordinary dream. But I took it seriously because I knew it is not ordinary. Yeah, you know, again, because you are also serving God. You are calling on him. And that's the way he could reach out to you. And many of the things that I've seen till today is either in my dreams, my thought process, or some audible voice somehow that will just come. And you know, sometimes it's even opening my mouth and something comes out. Yeah, that's God speaking through you. But that will only happen if the vessel is clean. I say it all the time. If the vessel is clean, who shall ascend to the hill of the Lord? Who shall stand in the holy place? He that has clean hands and a pure heart. You see? So sometimes when you think, and it's not all the time, that, you know, this is not, I'm not trying to overbloat it here. We're not perfect. But as much as possible, this is the commandment from God. You want to hear from God? You want to stand in his holy place? Just keep the vessel clean. So the heart and the hands.
So the revision, the dream the Lord showed you actually kept you.
Yes, it kept me. It kept me.
And there's this story in the Bible, the story of the blind man, when the disciple asked Jesus that what happened to, is it that this person is the one that is seeing or is his father? And because this thing, when I think about it, that Jesus Christ said, no, none of them. That but for the glory of God.
Exactly.
So it means that some of the things that we as a human go through so at some point in life is just for the glory of God to be seen.
Exactly. You also said it that our testimony encourages you.
Yeah, of course.
But God has a way, you know, He makes people examples. Really. Because today, when I look at it, it wasn't easy. Even this, I'm saying to you, with the dream and everything, there will still be a time when you know, when some words will come to you, but do you think this thing can ever happen? I bet you remember. I said, "How get behind me, Satan," or something like that, you know. But you see, the good thing is this: after the 9 years, we had triplets, 3 boys. So it's to confirm to you that what I saw was true.
Exactly.
And then that at the end of the day, God took the glory. Because again,
it's for the glory of God.
The people we got married, who got married at the same time with us. By the time we gave birth to the triplets, they were on their third born.
Third born. So yeah. So like you overtook. As
Yes,
if
and this is what one of our pastors would say: system of advantage. That is, it's an accelerated kind of way. And again, today, I look back and I said, okay, well, today that I'm overseeing flocks and all of that, it was a training. And when I say it, I mean it because I experience it and I believe in it. So when I'm giving you what God has said, He will do it. It is real.
So you can't give what you don't have.
Exactly.
Because you've experienced it.
So that is to say that God already knew where He was taking us, and we had to experience that to
build us,
to be able to qualify for what we're going to be doing tomorrow. And this is why God does that. And everything is not by accident. It doesn't work.
Thank you very much, sir, for that story that you share with us. And for me, for our audience that is watching us, I think is an eye opener for us to know, because right now, the podcast called Navigate is not just for career alone, also for the spiritual aspect of our lives, faith aspect of our lives. So, and I think we have to end it on that note, that as much as you as amen, acknowledge the fact that whatever you want to become in life cannot in any way be separated from whatever God is saying, unless you want to turn the deaf ear to that. So thank you very much, sir, for your time. We really appreciate. I appreciate your because for you to come.
No, it's both a pleasure and an honor to share. Because we're teachers.
Yes. Sir.
So you want to put information out there. It's also a good thing. And that this platform.
I know it's not easy when you are
I
in this part of the world for you to just say, okay, I'm coming and I'm going to.
It's indeed
I really
pleasure.
appreciate my regards to your wife.
Thank you so much.
And the children.
Thank you, and thank you for all that you do. This is it's a good thing.
Thank you.
And then the most important thing is that we educate. We educate.
Yeah.
Because that's how we build people.
Yeah.
And I like what we're talking here.
Yeah. Thank you.
You cannot separate your faith from your career, and from your because it works together. Except you don't have a faith, if you are in that, then it's not. They are inseparable. Because they help one another.
Yeah. So, viewers, this is going to be the end of this episode for Navigate. We really appreciate you for your time that you're watching us, and I appreciate our guest of today. And we'll be looking forward to see you again the next episode. Thank you very much for your time watching us out there. I'm sure what you have heard today, you learned so much from it, experience, how our guest was able to navigate through the phase of his life, and also where he is right now. It talks about diligence, it talks about integrity, it talks about empathy, it talks about a lot of things. I'm sure this point is part of the things that as a leader, we want to become a leader in future right now. These are the things that we need to focus on as an individual. So thank you very much for your time, and then for our viewers there, we really appreciate you. God bless you, and do have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you.
We are heroes and dreamers. We are